Welcome everyone back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well today. I hope you're enjoying your Easter long weekend and you're all having some good time with friends, family, or more importantly, looking after yourself. New around here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Really helps the channel out and we're smashing out subs. I can't thank you enough for that. And obviously, my blue boys, tell you what, it's becoming a regular occurrence, this, and I, for one, am all for it. Got the win, 23 points at the Good Friday game in a great cause. Carlton are at the at the summit of the table, I should say. And that takes us to 3 wins, 1 draw. And I said it in my preview, there's levels to this game. And I think it's really easy to find the things that are wrong with this. But I think the big takeout is, if we're honest, we played 22 minutes of good football. And we're 3 or 4 goals better. Should have been more. Carlton kind of tapered off in the last minutes. And it's really important to remember, and I implore people to go back and watch a lot of games. When you play bad sides or sides that are weaker than you, there is an onus. There is an onus to slow you down, and you can get dragged into their level. And not a lot's been talked about this season from the Blues. And I'm going to put that right now. Is nearly every game this year you've seen something about Carlton that you haven't seen before. So round 1, you saw the stats in the control, their ability to control, to turn over the ball forward of centre and get turnover ball in the opposition's D50. Then round 2, you saw a side that can put sides away when they are at their weakest. You saw the ability to work around the stoppages, and we're used to that. Last week, you saw them add more strings to their bow, looking, again, losing that clearance territory, but managing to win. And then this week, we saw a new pattern emerging from the Blue Boys. Their first scores from kicking, and it was over 30 points. Their ability to build from the back half. And, you know, looking at this year so far, it hasn't been perfect. It's been probably about a 6.5 out of 10, and that's me being generous if I judge all their quarters. We're really starting to see Carlton string games together by adding layers before our eyes. And I think there's a real obvious explanation for this. If anyone's ever done something that requires change, making multiple changes when you're starting to get results is suicide. However, making small changes as you're seeing the results pays off in the long run. And that is something that we're starting to see here. And you know what? For the first time in a long time, dare I say it, I'm a wee bit excited. And I'm not excited because I'm winning. I'm excited because I can kind of see the end product of what they're building. And it's not pretty. It's not perfect. Do you know what I mean? I thought the big thing is, this game, we got absolutely decimated around that clearance and stoppage battle, especially from the scores, which last year was the biggest criticism. That's how you beat Carlton. Carlton can't find another way to do it. And they answered their critics. They found a way, particularly with that wonderful transition from the back line. And let's see what we've kind of found from there. Have we found anything? Well, you know what? I like to showcase things when they're going well. I think that is very important. So let's get into it. And there you can see we've got our famous tactics board. We'll make that a wee bit bigger for you. But what we found this week is teams, when they play Carlton, they flood this area. And first half, it was obvious Carlton used this area 0%. And it was really a lack of endeavour, and that is something that the boys are going to have to learn, and it's something that the fans need to learn. Lack of fear. Let go of it. Pull the trigger. And you saw that in that third quarter they did, and they really like this outlet ball here. They gave Sard and McGovern the kick-ins, and being the first user, this number 3 here would represent them. And there was a reason for that. They are probably the most dangerous kicks in the terms of they take the game on. And you saw quite often the switch would come and then this wing would come in. And what was really impressive was these units then starting to overlap the opposition. Handball chains coming in. We had that wonderful Mackay to Kerno to goal. Carlton really looking to get the ball and get it moving quickly. And it's, you know what? I hate to admit it. In the last couple of weeks, you have seen this side have gears, which you've never seen. And trust me, I've watched this a lot. But that has been a real common entry. We've seen usually in weeks gone by, and we saw it in the first, they flood this area. And what that allows the opposition to do, they take the corridor and they flood it. Carlton's quick switch, you see, will move zones like this. And it's about being committed to that dangerous ball, that one-on-one, or taking the first defender on, which Saad did quite a lot. And it paid off. It paid off. And that is something that these boys need to learn, particularly as we're moving to better teams. You will find in the next couple of weeks, and I'll guarantee this, we've got them round 8 games, right? Round 8, round 9, round 10, round 11, that period. We've got some top teams. They will set up to stop you doing what you're doing. They will set up to do what they do with an air to stop you what you're doing. But their first port of call will be impact Carlton. They will set up and go, you're not going to see Melbourne go, oh, what we'll do is we'll play James Jordan. He's a little bit more defensive. We'll swing him in. Ed Langdon will come into the corridor. And then what we'll do is hopefully Salem's fit. We'll push him up to really flood the contest. They ain't going to do that. They are going to say, you know what, we back ourselves to beat Carlton's best. And I think a real big thing here is finding their metronomes. And you see it in our fan base. The fear is among you already now as I record this video at 4:20. I guarantee 30 people have gone, oh, fuck. Adelaide never won there. We should be fearful. Don't show the boys disrespect. They should just be equally as fearful of us. Fuck history. History means nothing when you're playing on the park. Unfortunately, it's what you do there and then. And they will know Carlton can play football just as we know they can. They're a good football side too. Do you know what I mean? They can beat sides, so can we. So can we, though, as proved in the ladder. There's levels to this game. And what we need to see from the boys is early doors take on them kicks. And for me, what is really important when we're watching our boys is definitely getting into the situation of being brave. And if we go back to our little tactics board, which I know you guys and girls like, it's about taking this kick on here. And this is where it often comes unstuck for the boys. It's taking this kick on here. And it's getting into that zone of when they're moving. And we're seeing it in the third quarter. We saw it in GWS as well a bit later on. It's having that bravery. And that's why the kick-ins aren't a very important start. I don't want you to get focused on them 30 points we scored there, because good sides do it. But why it's really important from 31 points, right, in them kick-ins is it's because it's industrious. You saw that 3 of the 5 goals we scored were kicks into this area here. And then that caused this area to open up because Carlton were multi-dimensional, right? So genuinely, you see our kick-ins go to this area. So if I do this, most of our kick-ins go to these areas here, right? And that is so easy to defend. It becomes one-dimensional. When you start mixing it up here, you started to see north spread. And Clarko's the master of this. And that is something that Carlton have to do, particularly around here. You found that Carlton started to gain ascendancy because what was often happening when we won the centre clearance is that we're looking for little pockets to handball and get the perfect kick. When Doc comes in, it's quite simple. He's looking to hit this area as quickly as possible. And you saw many times Kerno was one out. And these are real good signs for the boys as we move forward. People forget we're a poor side. Historically, in the recent years, we've been poor. And we're starting to see genuine levels. And I really implore you this week, they're going to need us. And they are emotive at times. They do need us. They need us to believe because we are starting to gain some belief in ourselves. And the big issues I've got at the start of the games. Do you know what I mean? You saw it. It was going backwards. It was control. And control's good. But you could see that it needed someone to take it. And McGovern there, when he got the ball, he looked to take the game on. When it goes into the corridor, and this is where Walsh and Kennedy are very keen. Kennedy has displayed this quite a lot in his short career as a key asset for Carlton under Voss, is he looks to make the game go quickly. He's demanding runners either side of him. When these two come back, we're going to really start to see them entries. And the big boys, the Twin Towers, it was really important this game that they got off the chain. And it's why I complain a lot about how the AFL markets its media. They're always looking for criticisms. But there is clear evidence in an analytical basis and from your eye that Carlton have added layers they didn't have last year. And it's okay to go, oh, 1 percentage, Pom. Stick your percentage up your ass. Percentage will come when these boys are complete. And they're not complete yet. Because don't confuse rebuild, which is list management, to tactical nous and game understanding. And that is something that technically the rebuild started the minute Voss came through the door in that avenue. The rebuild is old. Now it's learning the tactical structures of coming from a bottom four side to be a top six side. And you know what? It sometimes doesn't happen quick enough. Sometimes these boys irritate me. I'm sure you all agree with me. That first half was super irritating because you know they've got levels to this. There's levels to this game. There's a reason that we have weight class in boxing. There's a reason that we have classes in swimming, sport, worldwide divisions. Because when we play, you saw the difference between Carlton and North. And we were closer to North only a couple of years ago. Now you're seeing the levels. Next week for me is a really exciting test for the boys because you know what? Adelaide at home are like Brisbane at home. They're a different kettle of fish. Home favourites, do you know what I mean? I know it's the gather round and it's technically not a home game. God knows why the AFL didn't make Port and Adelaide that round. Would have made sense so everyone was on an even keel. One of them things. But this is where they go in now. And this is where that impact versus react comes in. Be bold. I don't mind it when Saad turns the ball over like he did for that goal in the first quarter when he does that outside of the boot pass. It was something different. You saw it wrong-footed there, forward pressure. That is key. I don't mind it. I don't mind it when Motlop runs past with his 33 pressure acts and misses the tackle because he's trying to enact the pressure quickly. These are really key facets, though, this year that has been massive improvement at Carlton. The amount of points scored, top 6 for forward half turnovers, forced turnovers, that is huge. That's where good sides do it. People look too much at defensive transition. It's really pointless if you're good in the forward half of the ground. You want the pressure applied there. Also, the fact that Carlton are starting to get that defensive transition at the back. They're starting to. When they hit that corridor, the numbers are astronomical. They're fearsome. But that is a very brave kick. Not many sides, even top sides, have taken the corridor on that often because it's high risk, high reward. And it's something they're starting to get. Particularly Wheaton needs to get a bit of praise this week. Being bold and giving the ball to Saad and McGovern. Letting them do it. Not going to his safety blanket, Doc. These boys are developing, and you know what? What makes me excited is when Owies comes into this side and he brings that forward pressure because he's a metronome for the boys, a massive metronome because he just sticks to his task. When the boys have Walsh back and they have that dynamic, because at times a lot of them midfielders are very similar. Walsh is that difference there. And when people say Carlton becomes samey, look at when he's there. It becomes a little bit different. Then we've got something because with McGovern doing what he's doing, that is really exciting. And you know what? Just enjoy yourself. Live in the moment, man. I've done content for so long now for you guys and girls, and it's been an honor. That it's been shit sometimes. Let's just live for the now. I don't care what Collingwood fans say about us. I don't care what the AFL media say. I will come on this show like I always do and prove them wrong. Just enjoy it. Just live for the moment. Because next week, I am itching for Thursday. I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit. Walsh back. Boys are getting layers. Building. This time last year, it was 10 out of 10 and we were 3-1. Now it's 6.5 and we're 3 and a draw. It's really exciting and it will come. And I'm telling you now, you are seeing the start of something special. Losses are going to happen. It's the nature of the beast. But right now, this game plan and what Voss is adding unequivocally is proving the media wrong. Because at times we were one-dimensional last year. You're seeing different ways to skin a cat. It's going to be interesting to see when this side is full, They play 3 or 4 games together. I think it'll be interesting. Walsh will come back by that tough run of fixtures. Touch wood, injuries permitting. These boys will have played a good string of 4 games against weaker opposition than what you'll face then and get the runs onto the board. It's going to be really exciting, but I am liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to be totally honest. I overthink this game at times. It's a simple game. They are starting to give you something to be proud of. There is a bit of fight and desire there. And okay, it'd be great to beat sides 70 points every week. It would be great. But that will come as these boys learn to manage it. Because at the moment, they're managing games really, really well. And they haven't hit them straps. And you know what? 3 out of 4 games, they've lost the clearance battle and they've won it. 3 out of 4 games, the stoppage differential has been on the wrong side. They've won it. These were the markers last year that we knew we'd lose games. And that is something that we should be proud of because it means they're developing as a football team, not personally developing. And I think it's going to be very interesting when Akers is back, Owies is back, Walsh is back in this side. And you're going to start to see that dimension because I would have loved to have seen Akers in that third quarter because I reckon Carlton could have put on even more. And you saw the outlet didn't work when they tried to switch it to O'Brien. So everyone, I'm happy. I hope you're happy. A long way to go for the rest of the year. But so far, all roads are pointing to finals. And put me on record for that. Can't wait to do the preview for Adelaide. That'll be a ripper. Make sure if you want some merch, it's live at the moment. I know a few of you got in. There's still some left. So head on there. And until next time, Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.